أعوذ بالله بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت وأنعمت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. I greet you all with the best of all greetings, the greetings of the people of Jannah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is the 3rd of Ramadan, 1441 Hijri, which is the same as the 28th of April, 2020. Ask Allah to bless our coming together. Ask Allah to guide us through our talk. And ask Allah to accept what we are going to discuss as act of ibadah, which its reward will be the key to Jannah, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, it's nice being with everybody once again. Alhamdulillah, in this beautiful morning. Here I am in Kano. I know many of you are in different places. It's nice meeting you all again. We're back to our Fahmu Ma'an al-Qur'an program. Yesterday we were able to discuss Suratul Fatiha, the greatest surah of the Qur'an. And inshallah today we are going to take a new surah, or maybe 2 new surahs even, yeah, inshallah. If there's enough time, we're going to look at 2 new surahs. We're going to look at Suratul Naas and Suratul Falaq. They're the last surahs of the Qur'an. I think Naas is 114 and Falaq is 113, the series of the surahs, the arrangement of the surahs. Now, we're going to take the same approach as we took yesterday. Yesterday we had 5 steps which we followed. Number 1 was saying something about the surahs, special facts about the surahs. And then number 2, we read the Arabic verses, and then we discuss them. We mention the word-to-word translation, and then we discuss them. And then the next one is giving a simplified tafsir. And then the last one is looking at the lessons contained and the actions that are required from us. I may say some of the lessons, but others can see more than I can see. And of course, the points of action also, I can mention some, but others can see more. The whole essence is for us to understand the lesson and to put it into practice, in order to get the pleasure of Allah, in order to earn the pleasure of Allah. Allah be our guide. I begin in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Today's surah, as I said, is Suratul Naas. Surah, it's an Arabic word, which means chapter. Naas, it's also an Arabic word, which means mankind. So we're going to look at the chapter of mankind today, inshallah. Now let's look at the special facts about the surah. Now, this surah is a Madaniyah, which means the surah was revealed in Medina. And the surah contains some divine teachings and commands, teachings and commands to the Holy Prophet ﷺ and to us as Muslims in general. Now, the surah commands us and as well teaches us to seek refuge with Allah from every kind of ill arising from the unseen world of jinns and magic and dark evil that is being plotted wherever, and envy and every other thing that is bad, every other thing that will harm us as human beings. These are the things that these 2 surahs contain. Now, why was Suratul Naas revealed? You may ask this. And why was Suratul Falaq also revealed? These 2 surahs were revealed at the same time. The 2 surahs were revealed at the same time. Now, there's a hadith in the Sahih al-Bukhari, and of course other books of hadith, that mention that the Prophet ﷺ himself suffered from effects of magic. And Zayd ibn Arqam reported that a Jew by name Labid ibn Asim cast a magical spell on the Prophet ﷺ. And when the Prophet ﷺ began to suffer from that magic, Malaika Jibreel came to him in a dream with other, the Prophet ﷺ saw 2 to 3 persons in his dream. And then the Prophet ﷺ heard the 2 of them in his dream talking. And they were saying, magic spell has been casted on, they were referring to the Prophet ﷺ. And the person who did it was Labid. And all the enchantments were, all the magical charm were buried in a well referred to as Tarwan. So now the Prophet ﷺ woke up from his dream and he sent some of his Sahabas to this well. And they were able to bring all the enchantment, all the magical charm. And the 2 surahs were revealed at this time. And using the 2 surahs, the verses of the 2 surahs, the spell was broken. According to most of ulama of tafsir, this is the reason why this beautiful surah was revealed. Alhamdulillah. Okay, now Suratul Naas, one of the 2 surahs that we're going to look at. Suratul Naas focuses on seeking protection against the evils of shaitan, or the evils of shayateen amongst jinns and mankind. There are shayateen amongst jinns and there are shayateen amongst human beings. So Suratul Naas focuses on seeking protection from these 2 shayateens, the shayateen al-jinn and the shayateen al-ins. While Suratul Falaq focuses on seeking protection from the evil of all creations, not only jinns, not only human beings, anything that has any form of harm to the human being. When you recite Surah Al-Falaq, you are seeking for protection against that thing. Now, these surahs are very important to a Muslim, as they were to the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ loved these 2 surahs and he interacted with the 2 surahs always. And this is one of the things that we are supposed to learn from the Prophet ﷺ and from this lesson that we are discussing. Now, Suratul Naas has 6 verses and Suratul Falaq has 5 verses. Now, Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawzi, the famous scholar of Islam, said the effectiveness of these 2 surahs is great when it comes to repelling magic, evil eye, and the rest of the evils, that human beings may come across. And to him, these surahs are more important to a human being than his other needs. As a human being, you need these surahs more than you need other things that have to do with your luxury or whatever, because you are in continuous interaction with different forces that are fighting against you. The forces of shayateen, the forces of jinn, envy from human beings, harm from animals, harm from, electricity and machines, all harms, So you need these surahs, when you recite them, Allah will protect you from all these things. But to Ibn al-Qayyim, he thinks Muslims need these surahs more than they need any other thing that has to do with their luxury. Now, each and every human has a close qareen, according to the Prophet ﷺ. Each and every human has a close qareen. Now, qareen means a companion. Qareen means a companion, that is a consort. Now, what do they do to you as they follow you? They whisper, right? They whisper certain things into your mind. Now, Now, only Allah subhanahu from true protection if you stick to this surahs. According to a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, with every one of you there is a devil, that's a shaitan. And the companions asked, is there a devil with you, Ya Rasulullah? And the Prophet ﷺ said, yes, but Allah has granted me protection against the devil. That's with me. So this hadith is an evidence that every other human being has a companion, and which is a shaitan or a devil. This devil speaks to your mind. It tells you certain things time after time. Now, they try to beautify disbelief, immorality, disobedience of Allah to the mind. And they will make you love it, and they'll make you enjoy it. So whenever a Muslim finds himself in this situation, you should please seek protection from Allah. Recite قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ or recite قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Now, sometimes people get subjected to so many things. You know, you'll sit down and watch football, and the mu'adhin will be saying, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala falah, and when Ronaldo is with the ball, you won't want to leave. Now, Shaitan will design certain things to you, tell you that Ronaldo is about to score. Just allow it to score. Maybe you can just form a jam with those watching with you and want to be there. Continuous distraction. And sometimes you may be on a social media, you know, Facebook or the YouTube, and accidentally you'll see this, you know, thing that will pop up like this, and it may be pornography, and you'll go into it, you'll watch and watch, and you'll enjoy watching it. At a time where if you see maybe Mufti Meng, Khalid Yassin, or Yasir Qadi, you'll see a lot of them, but you'll pass them. But when this thing pops up like this, you'll just dive into it, and then you continue to get engaged, and your mind will be attached to that thing. Now, what tells you to give it a try is this qareen. You see this, and if you're about to, divert your gaze, continue to advise you, look at it, look this and that, and sometimes it may advise you gradually. Yeah. So now we need to understand that these whispers are coming from the shayateen. And we need to understand that these whispers may lead us to disobeying Allah the Almighty. And we need to do what we can to seek protection from Allah the Almighty. Now, the Prophet ﷺ, there's a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ was in seclusion in the masjid. He was inside the masjid doing ibadah. And his wife Safiya went to see him. Now, when she left, when she was intending to leave, the Prophet ﷺ accompanied her to his house. Now, on the way, he met with two companions from Al-Ansar. When we say Al-Ansar, we are referring to the people of Medina. May Allah be pleased with them. Now, on his way, with Safiya, alayha salatu wasalam, they came across two companions, from Ansar. The two companions were passing by. Now, when they saw the Prophet ﷺ with this lady, they sped up their pace when they saw them. Now, the Prophet ﷺ, when he saw that, he called them, said, you come. Now, he said to them, look, this is my wife, Safiya bint Huyayn. They said, Subhanallah, O Messenger of Allah, Ya Rasulullah, why are you saying this? Why do you think that we're thinking away like this? And the Prophet ﷺ said, Shaitan flows inside man like blood. Shaitan flows inside man like blood. I feared maybe he had put thoughts about me in your minds. This hadith is narrated by Imam al-Bukhari and Imam Muslim. Now, what are we looking at in this hadith? We're looking at where the Prophet ﷺ said, Shaitan flows in a human being in a way that blood flows as well. So we are living with, companions from the devils, and they speak to our minds and they influence certain things in us, which we need protection from. Now, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says that Shaitan awaits human beings in different locations. Which means you have shayateen inside you and you have shayateen outside you as well, and all the forces are acting upon you. He said, when people forget Allah, the Prophet ﷺ has taught us a lot of remembrance of Allah, right? He said, if you are coming to your house, Bismillah tawakkaltu ala Allah. If you are going back to your house, you do a dhikr, you say, Bismillah walajna, Bismillah kharajna, ala Allahi rabbuna tawakkalna. If you are going to enter the toilet, you do another dhikr. If you are coming out of the toilet, the whole life of a mu'min, is attached to dhikr. If you are seeking protection from shayateen, the males and females. So now, if you forget all this dhikr, and if you are coming out of your house, you don't do the dhikr. Bismillah tawakkaltu ala Allah. If you are going back home, you don't do the dhikr. Bismillah walajna, Bismillah kharajna. If you are going to sleep, you don't do the dhikr. If you are waking up from your sleep, you don't do the dhikr. If you forget all these dhikrs, right? Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, if you forget all this zikr, shaitan will start whispering bad things to your hearing. And when you begin this dhikr, shaitan will stay away from you for the whole day. If you do dhikr when you come to eat, if you do dhikr when you come to have love with your wife, if you do dhikr, all these dhikrs, shaitan will stay away from you. Now if you come to eat, for instance, and you don't do dhikr, shaitan will eat with you. You eat the same food, which means removing the blessings. Likewise, if you come to have love with your wife and you don't do this dhikr before it, believe you me, you're going to have children that may be influenced by shaitan. And your children will be doing certain things that you'll never be able to control. The children will be doing certain things that you'll never be able to control, yes. Now, because of the importance of these surahs, the Prophet recites these surahs, as I rightly mentioned all the time. He recites this after every salah. After Salat al-Subh, Salat. All the salats that are obligatory, the Prophet ﷺ recites the surahs. Now, for this surah, for the salawat, for the prayers that are less than 4 rak'ats, like Salat al-Subh and Salat al-Maghrib, the Prophet ﷺ recites these surahs three times. In addition to them, he recites also Suratul Ikhlas, which is Qul Huwallahu Ahad. I repeat, in prayers that are less than 4 rak'ats, the Prophet ﷺ recites these 2 surahs three times. In addition to them, he recites Suratul Ikhlas, Qul Huwallahu Ahad, 3 times as well. Now, in prayers that are up to 4 rak'ats, he recites them once each. قُلْ أَعُوذُ رَبِّ النَّاسِ once, قُلْ أَعُوذُ رَبِّ الْفَلَقِ once, and قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, Surah Al-Ikhlas also recites it once, yeah. Now he does this in order to ensure protection by himself, seeking protection from Allah Almighty. And at the same time, as reported by Nana Aisha, the mother of the believers, may Allah be pleased with her, she said, when the Prophet ﷺ would lie down to sleep, he will blow into his hands and he will recite the 2 surahs. He will do something like this. And he will recite, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, قل هو الله أحد 3 times, قل أعوذ برب الفلق 3 times, and قل أعوذ برب الناس 3 times, and he will rub it all over his body. All over his body. Now, when you do this, you'll be protected from night till morning. Whenever, if anybody tries to cast charm on you, what the sorcerers do, it will not reach you. Inshallah, Allah will protect you from that, and any other evil from jinns or mankind and what have you. Now, the Prophet ﷺ also recites these surahs the way I did, like this, and he rubs it on his grandchildren. Yeah, so you can rub these surahs to your children to seek protection for them as well. And indeed, inshallah, Allah will protect them. So this is to say that when you stick to this surahs, Allah will get protection. Now these are the little facts with regards to these surahs. And ask Allah to be our guide as we will begin to recite the surahs, then we'll take their meaning. Okay, I'm going to recite the surah. This is one of our steps. And while we watch the way I'll recite it, and then we go back to the word-to-word meaning, and then the mini tafsir. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We're going to begin with Suratul Naas. قل أعوذ برب الناس There's a gunna here, idhar al-gunna. Birabbin, you have to count 2. Birabbin, right? قل أعوذ برب الناس. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس. Again, إظهار الغنة. ملك. Whenever you have a noon and a shadda comes on it, you have to do this gunna. ملك الناس إله الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس من الجن. Here you have another nun al-mushaddada, which means you need to do idhar al-gunna. You need to do gunna. You count 2. من الجن, right? Yeah. من الجنة والناس. You count 2 again. من الجنة والناس. Alhamdulillah. We come to Falaq, then we start Falaq. Now here we said, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Now the first word, قُلْ, it's an instruction. Say. قُلْ, say. أَعُوذُ, I seek refuge. I seek refuge. بِرَبِّ, بِرَبِّ, in the Lord. In the Lord. An-nas, an-nas, of mankind. An-nas, nas refers to mankind, right? Because you are connecting ar-Rabb with nas, that's why you'll have to add of mankind. Now, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, you are saying, right? What that means is, say, I seek refuge in the Lord of mankind. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of mankind. Now, whoever says this, first of all, the verse is instructing us, right? And then from there, it's telling us to seek refuge. So it's teaching us to seek refuge from the Lord of mankind. 2 things, instruction and teaching, right? Now, you are saying that I seek refuge or I seek protection in the Lord of mankind. Now, the word Rabb, as I explained yesterday, means someone who created and gives sustenance to mankind. So now you as a human being, you are seeking protection from the one who created you, who made you, and who sustains you. You are asking Allah, your maker, to protect you. Now, there is no anybody who can give you protection like Allah. There's nothing. There's no bodyguard who can save you like Allah. There's no life jacket that can save you like Allah. There's nothing that can save you like Allah. That's why it's very important for us as Muslims to stick to these surahs. Now, whoever is willing to harm you, Allah knows that that person is doing it. And Allah can divert it. He can change the mind of the person if He wants. Or He can divert. Or He can bring in something that will mess up the plan. So now which means if you rely on Allah, if you depend on Allah, Allah is powerful enough to do it. But if you depend on yourself, and you think you are powerful enough to do it, they'll plot against you at a time that you are sleeping, or a time that you'll never know, and that plot will definitely reach you. If you depend on the all-powerful, the one who created everything, the one who can see everything, Allah says in the Qur'an, regarding His knowledge, He said, وَمَا تَسْقُطُ مِنْ وَرَقَةٍ وَلَا حَبَّةٍ فِي ظُلُمَاتِ الْأَرْضِ وَلَا رَطُبٍ وَلَا يَابِسٍ إِلَّا فِي كِتَابٍ مُبِينٍ. First He said, وَإِنَّهُ مَفَاتِحُ الْغَيْبِ لَا يَعْلَمُهَا. The keys of the unseen are with Allah, and nobody knows that except Him. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ. He knows what is hidden within oceans and the soil surface, and on the top of the soil surface as well. وَمَا تَسْقُطُ مِنْ وَرَقَةٍ. There is no single leaf that will drop from a tree wherever that tree is on the surface of the earth, except that Allah knows that that leaf is dropping at that moment. I come again. There is no leaf that will drop anywhere on the globe from a tree, except that Allah knows that that leaf is dropping at that moment. So وَمَا تَسْقُطُ مِنْ وَرَقَةٍ إِلَّا يَعْلَمُهَا وَلَا حَبَّةٍ فِي ظُلُمَاتِ الْأَرْضِ. Allah's knowledge is so powerful that He knows every single atom that hangs anywhere on the surface of the earth. There is no single atom that will move on the surface. There's no single soil, let me put it this way. There's no single particle of soil that will move on the surface of the earth, except that Allah knows that that soil is moving at that moment. Look at how powerful the knowledge of Allah is. And this is what makes Him, deserving of being worshipped. This is what makes Him, if you take a human being as God, a human being cannot see what is happening behind him. I cannot count the number of hairs behind my head. So a human being can never be God. We can claim divinity, but will never be divine, because we have a lot of shortcomings, especially when it comes to knowledge. But Allah, who created everything, knows everything that's happening. The smallest thing is known by Allah, and it's written in the book of Lawhil Mahfuz. May Allah make it easy for us to understand. وَمَا تَسْقُطُ مِنْ وَرَقَةٍ إِلَّا يَعْلَمُهَا وَلَا حَبَّةٍ فِي ظُلُمَاتِ الْأَرْضِ وَلَا رَطْبٍ وَلَا يَابِسٍ. And there's nothing that is dry or wet or fresh, except that thing is known by Allah at any moment. Now, Allah, who has this powerful knowledge, can protect you from everything, because He knows everything. He knows all plots. It can definitely protect you. And He says, وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. He can do everything. He has the powers to do everything. He has the powers to do everything. Now, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of mankind. And the next verse is Malikin Naas. Malik, the king of Naas, mankind. Allah is in control of all the affairs of mankind. The human being was given one thing, that is irada, the will to do. You have your intention with you. You can use your intention to do certain things, but you cannot control other things. For instance, look at aging in human beings. You cannot control aging. You cannot stop yourself from growing. That's the work of Al-Malik, Allah. But then you can decide to walk, you can decide to jump, you can decide to run. All these are done due to your irada, your intention. You can decide to pray, you can decide not to pray, you can decide to believe in Allah, you can decide not to believe, only that you're going to be judged based on your irada, right? Your personal will. Now, Allah will not ask human beings regarding how tall you are, when you started sitting down, when you started crawling, when you started running. Allah will not ask you of that, because you are not in charge of that. He is in charge of that. What Allah will ask you of is why didn't you pray? Why didn't you give out zakah? Why didn't you do this and that? The things that you have the will of doing are the things that Allah is going to question you of. So the whole of Hisab is going to be based on your intentions, what you did, right? If you kill someone, that's your intention. You pick a gun, you kill someone, that's your intention. Allah will ask you, why did you kill someone, right? And if you eat from haram, right? If you go out for robbery, kidnapping people or stealing from government's money, that's your will. You'll leave it if you like, but then you decide to go into it. All these are done based on your intention, your will. Now Allah will judge you based on your will. But apart from every other thing, you cannot stop a wind from coming. You cannot stop the rain from coming down. The only one who can do that is Al-Malik, Allah. Wal-Malik, He's the king. And He's the one who says what should be done. If Allah likes, He can stop everything from happening. He can keep everybody at home. You can see the coronavirus now, right? It's everywhere in the world, and all the doctors and the scientists are in confusion. They are in serious search of the remedy. They will come across it, inshallah. But with this, we can see how Allah can do certain things. If Allah likes, everybody will stay in his room locked up. And if Allah likes, we will all leave our houses. We'll start sleeping outside. Wallahi, if He wants, we'll do that. We ask Allah for His forgiveness. We don't want it. We ask Allah to forgive us for that. If He wants, He'll bring down rain, heavy rain, and you have to stay at home, even if there's no coronavirus. So He is in control of everything. He's the king. He does what He thinks is. Yeah. So now, sometimes when disobedience becomes much, Allah watches people for a time. And if it goes overboard, He brings a test. You remember Fir'aun? Fir'aun was so arrogant that he claims divinity. And Fir'aun fought and Nabi Musa. Moses, a person sent by Allah. He attempted killing him as well. Now when things went overboard, a lot of things were sent. And at the end, he was washed away by the river. Imagine someone claiming divinity, but he could not stop the river from washing him up. Right? Yeah. But the same happens to the world. People can do a lot of things. In our world today, we have gay marriages. We know that it's prohibited by God, but it still happens. We eat a lot of interest everywhere in the world. In Nigeria, you have a lot of kidnapping. Some will connive with kidnappers. They will kidnap his uncle or his niece or his cousin, and they will collect money from his relative or his brother, and at the end of it, they kill the person. What kind of evil is this? What kind of evil is this? So now things like this will definitely lead to, a test from Allah. We ask Allah to forgive us. Now, Malik Naas, Allah is the king. He's in charge of everything. And He does what He likes. If everybody will believe, Allah says, وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ آمَنُوا وَاتَّقَوْا لَفَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ بَرَكَاتٍ مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ. If everybody will do what Allah wants, Allah will open up the doors of blessings and wealth for everybody. The world will live in richness and good health if everybody will do what Allah wants. But then if everybody will disobey Allah, Allah will send a test that will serve as a reminder, a test that will reposition the stand of human beings. May Allah forgive us and protect us. So Malik Naas is the king, he's the sovereign of mankind. Now Ilahi Naas, Al-Ilah means the God, the one worthy of worship. The one who is worshipped, The one who is worshipped, that's the meaning of Ilah. Ilahi Naas, Allah is the God of mankind. This ayah is saying that Allah is the only one who mankind should worship. Allah is the only one who mankind should worship. Now, when you say Malik Naas, Ilahi Naas, Ar-Rab, these are all attributes of Allah the Almighty. And Ilahi Naas means He's the only one worthy of being worshipped, right? And of course, Ar-Rab means He's the one who created everything, right? Yeah. Now, min sharri al-waswasil khannas. Min sharri, min means from. Min, from. Min ayna anta, where are you from, right? Min means from. Sharri means evil, the evil. Min sharri, from the evil. Al-waswas means a whisperer, someone who whispers. Someone who whispers. Now, Allah is referring to us, the devils here, the jinns or the shayateen, right? So al-waswas, they are the ones who whisper. They cause doubt in the heart, or they tell you, they give certain instructions. Now, al-khannas means someone who draws easily, someone who withdraws easily. Someone who withdraws easily. Now, what is Allah saying in this verse? Now, if you say min sharril waswas al-khannas, and from the evil of the whisperer, the one who withdraws, you are saying, oh Allah, protect me from the devil who whispers evil in the hearts of men, and who withdraws his whisper in one's heart after one remembers Allah. When shaitan attacks you, when you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, he runs away. When you remember Allah, he runs away. So they have this attitude of fear in them. They have fear, but when you remember Allah, when you remember Allah, the jinn cannot harm you. The shaitan cannot harm you when you remember Allah. But if you forget Allah, they will control you, and they may lead you to worshiping them. We have people today who sell their souls to shayateen, to devils, in order to get money and in order to become famous, right? So now when you leave Allah completely, they will buy you. And when you stick to Allah, they'll run away from you. So now when you say, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ مَلِكِ النَّاسِ إِلَهِ النَّاسِ, you are seeking refuge from Allah, who is the maker of the human being and the cherisher, and who is the king, and from what? What are you seeking this refuge from? We are seeking refuge from Allah from the evil of the whisper, right? With the whisperer who runs away when someone remembers Allah. That's the devils. Yeah. Alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudur nas. Alladhi means the one who. Alladhi, the one who yuwaswisu, whispers, fi, in sudur, the breasts, the mind, which means the heart, right? Here we're referring, the Quran is referring to the heart. Fi sudur, sudur means chest. As we know, what lies under the chest is the heart. It's the most important organ there when it comes to communication with a lot of things, be it with temperature, be it with hardship and what have you. Alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudur, the one who whispers in the breasts and Naas of mankind. Alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudur nas, you are saying the one who whispers in the breasts of mankind, the one who whispers in the mind of mankind. Now sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night when the mu'adhin calls for prayer, and something will tell you have 10 minutes remaining. You can still rest, right? And you may go down to rest. And from there, you not wake up till the Imam says, Assalamu alaikum. And then that's when you will wake up. SubhanAllah, you stand up rushing and what have you. Yeah. So, this is the shaitan for you. When you come to give out sadaqah, he'll whisper to your man. You see, these people, what they're doing is not good. Don't give him sadaqah. Or you tell him that 500 is too much. Why don't you give him 400? And you'll meet another al-Majri also. You can give him another 100. So you can give 5 people. You'll end up giving him 100 and you'll not see another person again. When you come to support your parents with a lot of money, this same person will tell you that if you give them too much, they'll think you have too much money. So just give them little. Another time you can give them more. So this shaitan will continue to whisper, this devil will continue to whisper into your mind. They'll stop you from doing that which is good. And the same people will tell you to buy a cigarette for 10 of your friends. Why don't you buy it for them? And they'll tell you to buy intoxicants, and you remove a lot of money to buy it for others. They will not stop you from doing that because that is not part of what Allah likes. In fact, it's part of what Allah prohibits. So they can lead you to that because it's a sin, right? Whenever it comes to sin, some men who follow women, they give them a lot of money. The money that they cannot give their mothers, the money that they cannot give out to mosques or they cannot give out to da'wah. But they can spend a huge amount of money for less than an hour. SubhanAllah. We ask Allah to protect us from that. This is what shaitan can do to you. This is what shaitan can do to destroy your life. Waliyadhu billah. Now, you are saying that الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ, the one who whispers in the breasts of mankind, in the minds of mankind. مِنَ الْجِنَّةِ وَالنَّاسِ. Min, I said from, al-jinnah, the jinns, wan-nas, the jinn, wan-nasi, and men. I said from the jinn and men. You can join the two, right? Alladhi, the one who whispers in the breasts of mankind from the jinn and men. The one who whispers in the breasts of mankind from the jinn and men. Yeah, this is what you are seeking refuge from. Now, the interpretation is that the devils from among the human, there are devils from among the human race, and the jinns, of course, and both of them whisper. Sometimes look at what the rappers do. If you look at rappers, they will be, campaigning that they have sold their souls to shayateen, and because of that, they're getting a lot of money. They'll be displaying gold and money and cars and beautiful houses. And they want you to believe in that, and they want you to pick interest in that. And sometimes even between people, if you're a king or a political leader, you'll have amongst those who are close to you who will want to see that you disregard other people. They'll tell you a lot of false things about others. And they will bring in enmity in between you and others. Sometimes even between women who are married to the same husband. You'll get outsiders who will come, they'll come and tell you, you need to do something about this lady. This lady is not sitting idle. She goes to this and that. So you need to stand up and do this and that. These are shayateen. These are shayateen. They whisper certain things to your mind. And if you're not careful, if you don't seek refuge from Allah, believe me, they will succeed on you. But the only thing that will protect you from them is seeking the protection of Allah. So now when you continuously recite this surah, Suratul Falaq or Suratul Naas, Allah will definitely protect you from these people, inshallah. So now this brings us to the end of Suratul Naas. We are going into Suratul Falaq. And I'm going to recite Suratul Falaq. And when we finish with the two surahs, we are then going to look at the lessons and then the points of action. Well, and make it easy for all of us. MashaAllah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. You look qalqala at the end of the surah. There are, what qalqala means is you need to shake the alphabet. There are certain alphabets that you need to shake in Arabic when they come in a state of sukun. Fala, qaf is one of them. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق. من شر ما خلق. من شر ما خلق. ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب. The is also part of Huruf al-Qalqala. Wherever it comes in a state of sukun, you also do qalqala. من شر ما خلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب. You can see the ba at the end of the verse. ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر النفاثات في العقد. The dal is also part of huruf al-qalqala, so you shake it as well. I said qaf, I said ba, and I said dal. ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. There, we have another dal here. ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. Now, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. Now, قل, as we said in Suratul Naas, قل means say. قل means say. أعوذ, I seek refuge. أعوذ, I seek refuge. بربي, in the Lord. بربي, in the Lord. Al-Falaq. Al-Falaq means the dawn, the daybreak, or the dawn, or the daybreak, or Fajr. You know, Fajr time, or Subhi, the Subhi time, at the time around the time, I mean, the period around the time you pray Suratul Subhi. That's the meaning of Falaq. That's, let me say, that's what most scholars of the Qur'an agree with, that this is the period of Fajr, yani the morning period. Now, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ means, say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak. I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak. Now, there are a lot of things that happen, you know, during the daybreak. And, you know, a lot of jinn activity at that time. A lot of plans and evil takes place at that time. So now what you are doing is, you are seeking refuge from Allah, from any kind of evil that may take place at that time. If you look at Suratul Naas, you know, we focused on the issue of man and jinn. Now here we are looking at any kind of evil, right? So when you say قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak from any kind of evil. Now, مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ, min from, sharri, the evil, ma of what, khalaq, he created. Khalaq, he created. Meaning, min sharri ma khalaq, from the evil of what he created. Min sharri ma khalaq, from the evil of what he created. Now, here, the servant, you know, if the person reciting this is seeking from Allah to protect him from all the evils of jinns, from all the evils of human beings, from all evil that may come from animals, from the evil of even the money he has, because your money can mislead you. You're asking Allah to protect you from any evil that may come as a result of your money. You're asking Allah to protect you from any evil that may come from your children. You know, sometimes your children can kill you because of what you have. Sometimes your children can harm you. So now, if you are reciting this surah, you are asking Allah to protect you We are asking Allah to protect you from this evil, right? Okay. If you recite this surah, you are equally asking Allah to protect you from things like pandemics or what have you, because min sharri ma khalaq, all viruses were created by Allah, all bacteria is created by Allah, all fungi and all other microbes are created by Allah. So if you recite this surah, the intention of seeking protection from Allah, definitely, inshallah, Allah will protect. So, min sharri ma khalaq, min sharri ma khalaq, from the evil of what He created. Now, وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ, وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ, وَمِن, from, sharri, the evil, غَاسِقٍ, of darkness, إِذَا, when, waqab, it settles, when it settles. Now, what we are seeing here is, وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ, protect me from the evil of darkness when it settles. Protect me from the evil of darkness when it settles. Now, there are a lot of evils that take place in the night, when it becomes completely night. There are sorceries that you cannot see till in the middle of the night. Dark sorceries. Some of them do not function in the afternoon. You go to them in the middle of the night, 12 or beyond 12 o'clock in the night. And that's when they come out to do all their sorcery. That's when they worship the shayateen. That's when they drink all the blood, or they kill what they have to kill in order to get what they want from the shayateen. May Allah protect us from that. Now, at the same time, this is when some secret codes, this is the time where some secret codes function. In the middle of the night, that's when they do their own functioning. And sometimes, it's in the night, people go out for robbery. Sometimes, robbers move from one house to another in the middle of the night. That's another shirk, that's another evil. And nightclubs, for instance, most nightclubs operate in the night. As the name implies, night clubs. And all of these are things that are forbidden by Allah, and they are things that the shaitan draws people into. Now, high killers also kill people in the middle of the night. You have prostitutes along different states, within the night. So you are seeking Allah to protect you from all these evils that come by when it's night time. Yeah. ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن and from النفاثات ومن from sharri, the evil, النفاثات, of the blowers, al-uqadi, fi in, al-uqadi, the knots, something that you tie. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ, what we are saying is, and protect me from the evil of the blowers in the knots. There's a magic, there's a sorcery that you cannot do without tying certain things. They will tie certain things and they will blow, names of jinns or whatever into what they are tying. And they will mention certain names or write certain things, and through that, the jinns will go and attack someone. Now, with this verse, you are asking Allah to protect you from what they are going to blow and what they are going to tie and what they are targeting, right? Sometimes there are people who are envious of you, who will be willing to do anything using sorcerers to bring you down. And if you are the type who does not remember Allah at all, you sleep from the beginning of the night till the end without dua, without saying your supplications, as the Prophet ﷺ taught us, you just sleep. These people will definitely, if you are not serious about your adhkar, they will definitely bring you down. So we need to be very serious. We need to take these things as serious as possible. Now, وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ وَمِن, and from Sharri, the evil, hasidin, of an envier, either when hasad, he envies. I mean, sharri hasidin idha hasad, meaning, and from the evil of an envier when he envies. Now, envy is the existence of miserliness in the unity of a person, and which he demands or wishes the destruction of another person's blessings. You know, someone just got appointed as someone in the government, maybe a minister, and he's your friend, and just you started wishing that the whole appointment gets, taken away from him. Maybe someone buys a very beautiful car, much more beautiful car than yours, and you start wishing that may he, encounter an accident or something like that. This is envy. And envy destroys. Envy is the origin of great sins. Yeah. Because you'll wish everybody destruction. You'll wish that everybody loses what he has. Subhanallah. So now we have to avoid envying people. Now, envy, as mentioned by many Islamic narrations, it eats up away or it destroys your iman. It will eat up away or destroy your iman. And there are a lot of places where you can get envy. If you find yourself in some of these places, you have to really do your best not to fall a victim. When different women are marrying the same husband, there's a lot of envy between them. And when people are working in the same place and someone is being promoted continuously, you have to do your best to see that you don't envy that person. Do your best to see that you get promoted also without wishing that person bad luck. And then when you get children, many children of the same father but different mothers, when one from another mother becomes rich or becomes famous or gets something good, you are likely to get envy from others from another. You remember what happened to Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. His father loved him and his brother saw that he is likely to be a prophet. So they started envying him, they attempted killing him and a lot of things. This is the danger of envy, and Allah protected him and he ended up, achieving what was destined for him. So let's do as much as we can to avoid envying people. Sometimes people envy each other in business. You may be in the same business, but someone has gained acceptance by customers more than you. You see a lot of envy, people going in and out, of sorcerers. Where sorcerers are, you see that they bring an end to someone's, rise. This is haram in Islam. Now, sometimes it even happens when two people are seeking the hand of a lady for marriage, or three people. Someone will go to sorcerers and come up with enchantment so that the other person, will become mad, or the other person will forget about her, or things like that. Things like that. Now, all these things can damage your iman. All these things can tarnish your iman. And when that happens, you lose your dignity before Allah the Almighty. You lose your position before Allah the Almighty. And that can lead you to Jahannam. Wal-iyadhu billah. May Allah protect us from that. So now, this brings us to the end of Suratul Falaq and Suratul Naas. Now, we can see that both two surahs emphasize on the need for seeking protection. Now, let's look at the lessons contained in them. Lesson number one, from these surahs, we have learned that Allah is the one who we should seek protection from alone, right? And then we should be watchful of evil around us. At all times we should stick to these surahs so that, people with the evil eye, right? Or people who are, wishing you hard luck may not reach out to you. And Allah the Almighty has provided for us these surahs so that we can gain protection from all, sorts of hard luck or evil. Now, these surahs show us that remembrance of Allah sends shayateen away. When you remember Allah always, when you say your dhikr always, and you recite these surahs after the salawat that the Prophet recites them, you'll definitely send shayateen away. Now, another thing is, we are made to know about these surahs that shayateen are hidden. You know, you cannot see them, but still they're around you. And of course, they are also forces that work on you. So these surahs are meant to believe that yes, there are shayateen and they're living around us. Now, we're meant to know from this surahs that Falaq and Naas can be used to repel magic and the evil eye and every other evil. If someone has been enchanted with magic, you can use these surahs to break up the magic. And we know that the shaitan attacks, men when they forget the remembrance of Allah. Now, what are the points of action? What are the points of action? Now, this surah teaches us to recite these verses after these ayats. The lesson of today, or discussion of today, teaches us to recite these two surahs plus ikhlas after every salah. And then we should recite them also before we sleep. And then we should recite them whenever we're in fear. Whenever you have this fear that something harmful is coming, you can recite these words, and inshallah, Allah will protect you from them. And that when you adhere to this, when you adhere to adhkar in general, in addition to these surahs, as taught by the Prophet ﷺ, wherever you find yourself, you will have absolute protection. You'll have absolute protection by Allah the Almighty. Now, this brings us to the end of our discussion today on the commentary of Suratul Naas and Suratul Falaq. May Allah the Almighty accept what we have discussed as an act of ibadah, and may He reward us with a key to Jannatul Firdaus.